Hello everyone, I'm Danielle from Cageless Readings. Today's video is about past lives and past lives healing. I want to make a video about this because I think they are so important to make sure that you do some past life healing, but I also do agree with people saying that it's not going to solve everything, and it's important to still be very present and grounded in the now and focused on the now. All right, so I'm going to get into it. What I'm going to start with is why I believe it's important to incorporate past life work. There is a lot of layers to people. I mean, there's so many layers, and I find even once you start going on a spiritual journey, once you start really pursuing that, different blocks will come up. So you could have not really had an issue with something, and then all of a sudden it starts popping up. And a lot of it times it's around spirituality, because a lot of people have past lives where they were like not liked because they were witches, not liked because they were alternative medicine believers, because they just didn't believe in what a church had to say or the common belief system at the time had to say. So there's a lot of fears that come up once you start really pursuing the spiritual route, and all of a sudden it's your soul usually remembering what happened to it in a past life. It's like an old trauma all of a sudden being triggered. And that's why I think it's important to do some past life work, because all of a sudden you're going to feel a little blocked. There's going to be fear you don't understand, and it's because it's not completely coming from this lifetime. So we want to go back in there. We want to clear all that. We want to get rid of any contracts or vows you might have made to never like go down this road again, to never speak about your spiritual beliefs, to never blank. There's a lot of That's why it's really important not to say never, because they can create a lot of vows and self-limiting contracts. So we essentially go and we look in the past lives and we clear that up. And sometimes some people, that was the only block you had. You didn't have any blocks in this lifetime. So it's amazing. It's a good thing we did the past life. But there's other things where there's a past life issue that is really cementing the belief and really was the initial wounding. But then there's also events in this lifetime that help affirm that belief from a past life. So when we go back in and we clear the original wounding, the original moment where the original trauma is how I see it, that helps, and that's really good, and we do want to do that. That is important to do it because it makes the load for you in this lifetime less heavy to work through it. But it's not going to be everything. We can go back there, we can clear it, we can get rid of some contracts, we can get rid of these limiting beliefs that might have been formed or these agreements that might have been formed, and then you'll just have to deal with it in this lifetime. So there's still a lot of work to do in the now, in the present, but it was good to clear the past so that you feel like literally tons of weight around it. And it would make sense because you know your life and you're like, well, it just makes sense to me. It was really hard, but to have like 1,000 lifetimes weighing on you of believing the same thought is a lot of weight, which would also explain why if you just feel like despite how hard you work through a block, you just aren't getting anywhere, and you're really sitting with yourself and you're truly like, I don't know what it is. Like, I still have so much fear around this. I still struggle so much to address this or do this. That's when I'd say, let's take a look at the past life and see if there's something there, because then you can keep going on your journey. You'll still have to do some work around it, but you won't just be so stuck and so blocked. And I guess the other thing I'm going to mention, it's also important that when you do past life work, that you are doing it with the right intentions and with someone who has some experience in past life work. And it's just to make sure that you are going back for the right reasons and you're not bringing in the actual other karma from that lifetime. Meaning, you know, each soul in each lifetime chooses the lessons it wants to learn. But there could be some lessons you wanted to learn in a past life that you learned in a different life and then don't need to learn in this one again. But when you go back, and if you don't essentially cut off like that cord properly, make sure everything's in the right time frames and the right past lives and current lives, then sometimes people will find that people are like calling them a witch in this lifetime. I think I was explaining this in one video where I had it was a teacher where she said that she, before getting into her practice, was first learning past lives and didn't know how to properly cut them off. She said that she started having people in her current life calling her like a witch and evil, and people were very aggressive towards her. And she's like, and she finally realized like this has all happened since I went into my past life about being a witch, and kind of was focused on the wrong thing. But it was just, you know, sometimes we can get caught up in the story of the past life. The story doesn't matter. It's the lesson that we want to take, the lesson learnt, and we want to cut off any ties, want to heal that injured part of you, and then we're going to go back into the present. We don't bring anything else with us. We leave that where it is. That lifetime is over. So I do want to just mention that because I know it can be really cool. If you were like me at all, I was like, oh, past lives are going to be so cool. I want to learn all about them. But then I realized, okay, I got to make sure I'm going with the right mindset, because I'm not going back just to essentially live a life that I already lived and I'm done with. Okay, that's all I have to say about that. I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, and I hope this video brought you the information you were looking for.